Right, she's whistleblowing time. Sent a couple of emails to Councilor Aitkin. First one about the allegedly checking the condition of our footpaths on a Saturday with a foreign company contracted by council. I used to contract on the Parks and Reserves crew with Dave, the supervisor, who does work hard when he does. I also used to work CBD waste management with Rodney Denny, the Yappler, through Nika Education and Training Labour Hire. To find out of this foreign fella on the quad bike on the Saturday pay rate that he is driving around checking the footpaths, and that there will be, it's supposed to say a van driving around over the next 2 weeks covered in cameras, allegedly to check the roads, of which are mostly new in my area, is only 3/4 of my concern. What should be everyone's concern is the fact that I personally have spent almost entire days sitting in that multi-storey car park depot office watching Rodney scroll the day away on Facebook, driving around in the ute doing his own shopping, covered for him when he broke the mini street sweeper, not once, but 3 times, from driving it on the footpaths when he's not supposed to, and catching the hydraulic arms on the benches at around $1,500 a pop. Being told to sit down and stop working, otherwise we'll get too far ahead. Then on Parks and Reserves. On one occasion, I spent half a day playing Follow the Leader in the council ute to find myself out at Guide Falls because it was hot, and to check the length of the grass in another crew's zone. That's just one example out of many. I actually left that job because I almost bashed a co-worker for making comments about the Parklands girls every morning, schoolgirls, and nothing was done about it after I made them aware. See why I have a problem with council? What a waste and a racket, mate. Don't know why you bother with them. They're globalist pigs ushering us into a digital nightmare. Hey, the gloves are off, people. I've had enough of this shit. Marinus. I had a meeting with Ken from Marinus. He is now the second person to admit to my face that Burnie is being used as a prototype 15-minute digital city since Giovanna admitted it to my face last election. Quote, and there's nothing we can do about it. Ken admitted it's all about data transfer, and the Citizens Party has blown the whistle on Lockheed Martin, one of the world's biggest industrial military complex contractors, and Palantir, the data collection corporation of Peter Thiel and his band of tech demons, coming to Australia, who helped design and build Israel Iron Dome and the 9-level deep data centre in Jerusalem, the same as the one under the White House ballroom, built by all the same contractors with all the same costings and receipts. First it was the fake Muslims being blamed for everything, then the Christians got put in the same basket in Parliament by Erin Molan. Now Jacinta Price is on podcast backing Pauline Hanson to destroy Aboriginal culture. They're all sellouts, mate, and we are goyim, which is a Jewish term for human cattle. Like I said to you after you shut me down at the council meeting where I proved they served the state and not the people of Burnie by Teeny, polity-splaining that she doesn't have to swear a lawful oath of office to the people on the KJB Bible and Commonwealth Constitution because she made a promissory affirmation to the state. Here's a little history lesson for you. In 1948, the United Nations, which is a League of Nations, which is run by the Club of Rome and Unidroit and the Bilderberg Group, World Economic Forum, annexed a place called Canaan, creating the nation-state of Israel, forming an apartheid state in the Arab lands of Abraham, adding fuel to the 4,000-year-old inheritance conflicts between the tribes of Ishmael and the tribes of Jacob, who biblically his name was changed to Israel. I know you're not biblically inclined, that's fine, but Israel is a man, not a place. The Gaza Strip, Palestine, is the biblical Philistines, made up of 12 tribes of Israel, who is Jacob. Mate, we're in so much trouble you can't imagine the horror that's coming. Watch Shahid Balsan on YouTube if you want to know what a real Islamist Muslim is. As you know, I'm a follower of Christ, but I don't do Zionist Christianity. It is pure evil. I'm not sending you this to be an arse. I'm trying to get you to see the much, much larger picture at play here. Freemasonry owns this town and is destroying it on purpose to create a digital prison for all of us. I don't care what the cost is to me, I do this for our kids. The police are not your friends, believe me. I have Masons all through my rotten family. The system isn't being mismanaged, we're being pitted against one another. As long as we're fighting over crayons, we're not seeing who's pulling the strings. There's a great book to read called Red Over Black. Once you read that, you won't be able to unsee the communist takeover of the West. It explains how the Aboriginal community has been used to implement communist legislation like the Yes Vote and left anti-fascism movements. John Wilson, the former head of the CFMEU, is a self-confessed communist. The CFMEU and the Painters and Dockers Union are the Bass Strait and biking links to international drug trafficking that intermingle with the still very much alive underbelly network. Why do you think they killed Carl Williams? Remember, I've lived many lives in 3 different states. Did you know Arnott's Biscuits Adelaide factory was busted for drug trafficking in 1996? I also wasn't joking when I said Tim Bonifan, who was a business client of mine when I had my shop, showed me a blueprint proposal of Waiwano as a military complex back in 2015 when I almost purchased a house in Pearl Street. That house no longer exists. Why do you think the showgrounds really got moved to Ridgely? Why do you think Ken Dorsey was knocked back on purchasing the Acton School with a larger tender than Conzi? The new court costings, $86.5 million? That's insane. Land being snatched up allegedly for hotels? Nope. Detention centres. What do you think all the NDIS special schools are doing consolidating? Acton is moving to Penguin, leaving the complex empty. Circle back, digital smart cities. It's all connected. Who else is blowing whistles like this? Who else is actually connecting the dots? Who else is looking at all the people getting the same tattoos as one another? There's no such thing as coincidence. How many coinkydinks do you look at and then go, hang on, it's mathematically impossible for all those supposedly not connected things, supposedly not connected people, to be getting exactly the same tattoo in exactly the same place? How many people have got a triangle tattooed there with an eye in it around Bernie? Heaps! Heaps! Look at how they're all connected to Freemasonry, all the people running the job network providing agencies, Safe Space, people in the council with tattoos, triangle tattoos on them. And they all seem to be playing in this certain direction, but apparently not connected, apparently not friends. Like Chris Lynch says that he doesn't like Paul Murphy. Okay, well, why are you both playing second fiddle to the same tune? Why do you think Bernie's being sent down to Gurgler with Safe Spaces? Why do you think the building next to the ANZ Bank got destroyed? A heritage, to my best belief, is heritage listed. Why hasn't the owner come to assess it? Why hasn't there been some kind of story in the paper about it? A real story, I mean. Why do you think Marist College is being attacked? Because it's a Catholic school. They're coming after the Christians. Why do you think Jacinta Price and Pauline Hanson are teaming up together to go after the Aboriginal communities? They're trying to kill all of our traditional faiths and cultures. And they're deleting history, people. They're deleting our histories. The next generation isn't going to know shit. They're just going to be drones. People like us, we're in the way. What do you think they plan to do with that big complex that Conzi owns that's been a support school for stuff all? It hasn't been there that long in the grand scheme of things. In the macro, that's only been there for the micro. How does somebody who's twice disgraced for being caught shredding documents for misappropriation of funds, and gaining a financial advantage by deception and fraud and utterance, is able to run for mayor again, we'd be in jail. He got caught doing it as Deputy Premier, and then he got caught doing it again as Mayor. He was under David Llewellyn back when he done it as Deputy Premier, Stephen Collins, who I have on good faith, his wife has connections to Sicilian Mafia. I could be wrong on that, but however, and I'll swear, and everyone knows I take it serious, I will stand up in court and swear on the Bible that Caden Leal told me that he's seen a shipment of ecstasy in one of the hotel rooms at his club. Not the hotel, the club. I told you I'm going to rip the lid off everything.